My name is Kang, and it's a bit different. I'm not a software developer. I'm not a programmer. I'm a psychologist. Okay? And the psychologist, you know, what is a psychologist? Okay? Anybody know what is a psychologist? Anybody have idea? Yeah, you know what? Okay. Okay, let me explain. A psychologist is a person who is trained in psychology to help people to solve their problems. So let's say if you are a student in CTU, you may have problems with your study, you may have boy-girl relationship problem, or you may have feeling a lot of stress. So I used to work in Hong Kong here. So students would come and find me, and then I have a one-to-one session to help them resolve the problem. Okay? So I am what we call a clinical psychologist. Okay? So then you may be wondering, what has clinical psychology to do with the internet? What has it to do with open source, or what has it to do with what we have today? The way I answer this is that I'm using technology to try to help people move on with life. Imagine today you are well, and then you walk off the road, you get hit down by a car, and you are paralyzed from your head downward. Okay? I used to work with a lot of people who have injury and they cannot move their limbs. So that's how I link technology, psychology, and counseling. Because for someone who can only move their head, they have to use the technology to help them to access to the world. Can you see the logic? Okay, come in. We are just starting. Hello. Come in. So what I'm going to do today is to not talk about people who have disability. I wanted to bring you to children who are very young, who do not have access to computer, who live in very poor areas. They don't have access to internet. Even if they have access to laptop or computer, they may not have internet access to the internet. So as a psychologist, I believe in what we call prevention. If we can help the kid to grow up healthy, grow up with a good knowledge of the world, then they can learn by themselves and they can solve a lot of problems in the future. Okay? So what I'm going to do today, as I say, is to talk about my work in this area for the past 6 years when I was involved in the One Laptop Per Child project. So I have a dream. And if we move on, in your dream, sometimes you don't know whether you're a good guy or whether you're a bad guy. Suddenly you are a bad man trying to save the world, and suddenly you are a joker. You know, there's a lot of mix-up of a lot of things, right? So, you know, if somebody's chasing you, and sometimes you go into a state where you don't really know what's actually happening. So this is like a dream that I have. It's like a dream between good versus evil. So would you say that Steve Jobs is good or evil?
Evil.
Evil! Wow, my goodness, you know. He'll be haunting you from his grave. Why would you say that it's evil?
Versus
Yeah, why would you say that it's evil?
Oh, I don't believe in good versus evil, but if I had to put them somewhere on the spectrum,
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the reason? Why would you classify it?
oh, because of the closed source platforms that we use for them.
And what about this? Do you know who is? The famous HKOSC person?
Richard Stallman?
Yep. So that is Richard Stallman. So
Good,
Richard Stallman,
good.
good, right? Why? Because Richard Stallman talks about freedom, HKOSC. And even, I don't know whether you know the history, when Steve Jobs passed away, Richard Stallman actually wrote in his blog, "Thank God Steve Jobs." And there are a lot of people who say that, wow, why when he's dead, and then you start to say that thank God, the fact that he's not around, there will be one person less pushing for closed source. Okay? So it's between open and closed. Right? So we have this person who is very open and this guy who is very closed. If any of you here is working with Apple, you will not even say that I'm working for Apple because you may be sworn with secrecy. Right? Apple is very, very secretive in what you do. So I believe in the open world. In the open world, we have this. Be open. Be open. You know? So there's a different kind of openness, right? You know, actually opening up yourself, and if you have the intention of showing a private part, then you know you're showing a very, very private part of you to the world. So I would say that we need to go beyond being open. We need to do good. If you are open and your intention is to do good, then something will come out from there. Because you can be very open, but you may have a lot of ulterior motive why you want it to be open. When you need people to look into the course and give you support, you open it up. And once you find that somebody buying over your programming, you start to shut it down. Right? So what I hope to do, as I say, is to bring you into the world of being open and to do good. So my talk today, as I say, is about wanted, dead or alive, right? And it has what we call the XO. How many of you know what that is? One laptop per child. Show of hands. Okay, right? Some of you do not know, right? Some of you do not know. You know? You know, right? Do not know, okay? That's one laptop per child. That word, that sentence explains the mission and the vision of that organization. Is to provide every child in the world who are poor, who are deprived of opportunity to learn, to own their own laptop. To own, okay? So you think about, where are you from? Maybe you're from China? Mainland? Where are you from? From Hong Kong, okay? How many of you are from mainland? Mainland China? Taiwan? Yeah, okay? So when I asked about Taiwan, they said there are people living in the mountain area. They don't have access to computer, and they may not have an opportunity for learning. So one laptop per child is to provide an opportunity for them to have education. Okay? So what I want to now is to bring into the area of open source, and maybe just to give you some idea for those who do not know about one laptop, just a little bit of an introduction first, okay? So what we have here is the one laptop per child. It talks about the principle and child empowerment. So you can take it as an idea.
One laptop per child. That's our name and our vision. We want to create educational opportunities for the world's poorest children by providing each and every one with a rugged, low-cost, low-power, connected laptop. And this is that laptop. Say hello to the XO. A computer unlike any other, designed specifically to work in tough conditions and remote areas. It comes packed with software and activities to help kids learn, explore, create, and share, no matter what language they speak or where they live. The XO connects them to each other, to the world, and to a brighter future. We're a non-profit organization, which makes these kids our mission, not our market. That's why wherever the XO goes, there are 5 core principles everyone agrees to. First, kids get to keep the laptops. They have to be free to take them home and use them whenever they want. That's kind of the point. Second, we're focused on early education, which means kids about 6 to 12 years old. Third, we have to deal in large numbers of laptops, so whole classrooms and schools get them at the same time, so no one gets left out. Fourth, kids should have a connection to the internet, because there's neat stuff to learn on the internet. Fifth and finally, the XO must include free and open source software. Then the laptop itself can easily grow and adapt with the needs of the child. So, in a nutshell, that's us, an organization that makes a small computer to serve a big cause, bringing education to children all over the world.
Okay, so for those who don't know what one laptop per child, this is a very, very good introduction. Okay, and for those who missed, I just bring you back to the slide that we had. Somebody help me, I can't read Chinese, can I get back to where it is? Because I can't read Chinese. So as it's working, what I have here, for those who are early, I have an actual laptop connected to a wireless system, right? And then I have a USB stick here, which has a sample of the internet in the box. So if you can try to go into it And actually, if you look at that laptop that I passed around, I'm able to go into the internet in a box. Where's the laptop? Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. So if you kind of, because are you able to get it? Can you get it? That's the system. The internet IAB, try it again. Because what I'm trying to demonstrate is that, can I bring an EXO into a little community? Yep. Okay. So basically what we have is that the children may not have internet access, but they are able to access the server here, which actually provides offline internet. Okay. So let's say if you want to go into map. Okay, map. Hopefully it brings out the map of the world. Okay. So what we are doing is a lot of the open source people are now gathering the resources of the internet, put it into 1 terabyte hard disk, and make sure that it can go into this one. Okay. And this is actually happening because a lot of people are doing some work on that one. Okay. So this is for those who missed. This is what I've shown. So what we have seen is a little bit of that history. Now what I'm going to show you is the kind of spirit behind the people who are working on the One Laptop Per Child project. Okay? IAB. Yeah, you can see there's a TV link. You didn't click on it. Okay? How many of you are still connected on this system? Show of hand, and IAB is working. Okay, not bad. Okay. IAB is working. Okay, can you go into IAB? For those who do not know what's actually happening is that you can use your hand device, your computer, to log into the wireless. And after that, you can actually access some of the internet resources offline. Okay? So now, all I have to do is to show you another video which actually gives you the feel of what is it like for people who are actually involved in the OLPC. And I want you to be part of this community. Because the people who are involved in OLPC, they're not talking about 10, 20, 30. We're talking about 1,000 people.
Who are you? So my name is Chris Blizzard. I am the lead for One Laptop Per Child inside of Red Hat. And we're here inside of One Cambridge Center, which is located right in the middle of Kendall Square in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But really, this is sort of the heart of One Laptop Per Child. This is where everybody comes together to meet. This is where we have our country meetings. It's where a lot of the software developers work, practically live. It's really the heartbeat of the organization, I think.
The goal of One Laptop Per Child is to use a laptop as a vehicle to transform education in the developing world.
Transform
The
education.
vehicle is a $100 laptop, because if you can get the price down to $100, all of a sudden you hit the textbook budget of your average developing world country.
But people said we couldn't do it, and in record time, we got these. We didn't just get prototypes out the door. We got these things in machines and actually working. My name is John Paul Berry. People know me as J5 at Red Hat. I work.
So the Red Hat people were very early. They were providing a lot of support for the development of.
Yeah, so I haven't seen anybody who doesn't
It is more the vendor.
It takes a little bit of pain out of travel, because you always have such a fun time going through security lines at the airport, taking out their laptops. You take out half a dozen green machines, and people are saying, that's a $100 laptop. I mean, they pretty much recognize it now. My name's still Walter Bender. And I work at One Laptop Per Child. I guess my official title is President of Software Content. Whatever that means. Can we transplant the culture of open source software development, which is all about collaboration, critique, and the tools of collaboration and critique as well, and get the education industry to adopt them?
The design of the laptops is a really interesting project because, well, it is geared towards a lot of individuals who haven't had experience working with computers. It's also designed in such a way that trying to do a lot of new things that haven't really been done before. I'm Evan Eliason. I graduated from Carnegie Mellon University with degrees in art and computer science. I began in New York working with the Pentagram design team,
Okay,
where I worked on
actually get a feel now.
design and some some interaction design for the laptops.
So I'm trying to persuade file them out.
This requires 20 or 30.
Okay, so what you have is a field that behind the laptop, behind the laptop is a lot of people who are in the open source community who believe in freedom of education and putting a lot of brains into the laptop. And this has been going on for the past 7 to 8 years. Right now in San Francisco, or maybe this later, there are a lot of people who are coming to it. So, the one laptop per child was announced in 2005, a prototype. And what we have now, as I say, is the actual 4-touch. What you have at the back is the actual 1.75. It's an ARM processor, right? And as I say, it's so low power that it can run on actually 2 watts. And actually, last time when we had we actually showed putting in a solar panel and then charging it. Okay. So what I want to say is that then there is what we call the HKOSC2013, and as you see, there's a cross there because this was like a prototype that to move from a laptop to a tablet form. But actually, after they have got the prototype out, they decided not to do it. And actually now what they have is the HKOSC tablet, which is basically a cheap tablet with good software packaged and sold in Walmart in the US.
So they don't no longer use their own hardware?
No. Now, what happens is this. We are all open source people, right? We know that when you are open source, you are very open. But people who are in business are not as open as they want to be. So when we had the one laptop per child, they want to have at least 50, 60 million of this laptop XO. And with that volume, they can bring it down to $100 US. But history says that when we have the one laptop produced, Intel got into it and produced their own classmate and netbook. So what happens is that the $100 laptop did not materialize. So after so many years, the tablet has started to come in and taking away the share. People ask, why would I spend $200 to buy an XO when I can get a tablet for $100? Okay?
Because you have a keyboard so you can program.
That's what you say. But for the people who are in the government, not many of them see it that way. They see that if I can get a tablet, the tablet can do more, the kids can do more, but with a laptop, maybe it's so clumsy and it's not user-friendly. So what I'm saying is this, that as far as OLPC is concerned, they have started to go commercialized. But the actual 1.75 is still not commercialized, which means that you cannot buy it off the shelf. You still need to have some good connection, or you need to have people who are actually deploying the XO and getting some funding in order to buy 20, 30, 40, 50, or 100. Yes.
It's supposed to be just for poor people in poor countries, right?
Yes, yes,
Because there's a man who started this, I think his name was Neo Conte.
yes, Nico Conte, right? Yep,
And when the Americans tried to buy it, he said, no, you cannot buy it.
Yes.
It's only for poor people.
right. Yeah, because when it was released, they have the give one, get one. The American can buy it, we can buy it, but we have to buy one and donate
Oh,
one.
yeah, I remember that.
So basically, there are around 250,000 of this actual laptop, which were bought, I think, in 2007. I bought 4 and I donated 4 in order to own one, right? So what I'm saying, to answer the question, is that they have not stopped producing this, but they have to start to go into this to commercialize so that they could generate the money, make use of the OLPC brand, so that if they can make some money out of it, they can put the money into the continuation of this work, okay? And the person who wrote this software is an open source guy. He's a very famous New Zealand guy who actually has made a name for himself in the open source community. So they employed him to be part of this, to write, well, for the time being, they said that the software is not open. Imagine if you open up this software, a lot of the cheap tablets would have have the OS. And then you can't make a sale because there's no difference between what you have and what they have. Because the differentiating factor is that the software that they have here is the same, is much more user-friendly. Okay? So, as a result of this, we are what we call at a crossroad between danger and opportunity. Think about, you have spent 6-7 years of your time as a volunteer, very involved in open source, trying to hack the actual, trying to write software for the actual, suddenly feels that the direction seems to be going to the tablet form. Right? So a lot of people who have the expertise, who are very involved in the original Axel, now suddenly feel that they are at a crossroad. Should I go into Android platform? Or should I continue with the actual platform? Or can I port Sugar this OS into Android platform? So all this is actually happening.
So it's actually running Android.
This actually runs this Android.
So it's just like a skin on top.
Yeah, the skin on top. So the skin on top, as I said, that is closed, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that people who are in the open source now start to put some pressure to say, when are you going to release some part of it so that we can actually write? Because after spending 6, 7, 8 years to develop this OS, suddenly you find that the OS cannot run on Android. So if we want to port that OS, port the Sugar into Android, it will take another 2 years or so. Because every work involves a lot of effort, right? So we are what we call in a time of danger and opportunity. And all of you are volunteers. Okay? And this is what I spoke in the force. When kids are exposed to something which is open, they learn what openness is all about. So kids who have used EXO in Uruguay, they are so used to open source that whatever code they are writing, they are sharing with the people. They are even now having what we call patches sent to the Sugar Lab to improve on it. And some of them are only 14 and 15 and 16. Okay? But if we go to the close, we use Android, but everything is closed, all the app is closed, then we find that somehow something is missing from the learning. So as far as I'm concerned, this is what we call education is not learning of the fact, but training the mind to think. And the key word is, what is it doing to us? If we live in a very closed source community, what is that? How is that changing us? Because remember when we saw that video, Walter Bender said that open source is about collaboration. It's about critique. It's about, showing your work, what you have done, and having other people look at what you have done and give you some comment so that it can be improved. So this is what we call a totally different new way of learning altogether. So think about doing good, because the challenge now is for you all to start doing good. And I'm trying to bring up this because Richard Stallman was one of the very strong supporters of the open source and the force and the OLPC. And there was a device, the wireless device, which was not open source, and he had to take it away because he believed that he shouldn't even be using that at all. Okay? And why do I show it? Because we are at what we call the next journey. Because the people who want to bring more laptops into poor countries feel that maybe they don't get their chances of getting sleep and sleep because the tablet has actually taken a market share. So what we're going to do is that in November 16 to 18, we're having actually want to have a base camp where some of the people from Hong Kong, from US, some of the hackers, they're all coming to Malacca. And Walter Bender is also coming from Sugar. He's flying all the way from US, right? And the people who hacked to turn this XO, this Fedora, I think it's Fedora 17, and start to port all these school service systems, they're also coming to Malacca. Because they're going to have what we call a hacking screen in Malacca to improve it. So this is what we call the next journey, because the next journey is very important because it does tells us where we are going to do in what we're going to do. Okay? So do good now. Being good is one thing. Doing good is everything. Doing your programming skill. Now, some of you may like to program and program and program. You like it to be perfect, but you find that you'll never reach to a stage where people use it. You feel very happy that you have created a beautiful software that runs. But have you thought about using a little bit of your energy and write a little software, a little child can actually use it and feel so happy that, has learned something. And this is the lesson, or this is the message I want you to take away today. Do good, because very early in my career, I had somebody from UK coming over to Hong Kong, and I asked him to hack the software to change it to double byte. And within 3 hours, he could change it and compile it, and it supports double byte. So it supports Chinese. And we're talking about 25 years ago. And after you've done that, we were actually able to use that software to do a multi-user check on a DART system. And even Jackie Chan was involved. So that little 3 hours of work started a movement. It started a movement to say that disabled people who can actually still communicate to have a chat. So that's why I'm trying to push you very hard to be involved in this little community. Okay? So just walk, because as an open source developer, life is not easy. You have very strong belief why you're doing it. And a lot of us are poor because we are not hiding our things. Somebody who have discovered what you have done, commercialized what you have done, and you're providing an opportunity for that person to cash up very quickly. Okay? So, but there are people like Walter Bender, there are people like Stallman, just keep on walking. Just keep on walking, because the walking part and doing part is very important. Right? So look at this. This is the little discussion that I was saying. People talking about HTML5, JavaScript, and about why people should not be working on this and why should not be working on that. Okay? And talking about the importing of sugar into Android or whatever it is. Very, very interesting discussion going on in the web, in a very open platform. Okay? But, as I said, I can't program. I can't program. I can only go to conferences like that to get people who are interested, to see that their work that they have is very, very important. Support, use, and promote force. Okay? So, the title was XO, Wanted Dead or Alive. We don't want you to be dead, we want you to be alive. We want you to be part of this community, to get involved, because whatever you want to do is in the wiki. If you want to play with this software, you can go to Sugar Lab, and it's actually downloadable. You were one of those people who saw this one, right? And he was asking me, can I see the source code of the Python? And I say, yes, you can actually see the source code for the Python from that one. Okay? So, any questions? Because I want to stop, because there will be another thing here. We need to, the message is very clear, right? What you can do to support open source and why this project is so important. And we want you to be alive, because being alive means that you can contribute to the future. Okay? So, how many of you are still connected with the wireless? How many of you are still connected? Is it working? Okay. So, it's working. So, because I'm actually testing the wireless and the server using the XO. And I can't test, if I want to test, I have 15 XO, I don't have. So the best way to test is to have a prop like that. So I can report back to the people there. I tested it out and 6, 7 of them said that it works. Right? So I leave it here and I pass to the next speaker, which is I think very related. Yes, any question?
Yeah, this started in what, 2007, you said?
Which one?
The whole idea of $100.
The prototype was announced in 2005.
You know, the world has changed since
Yes.
then. And the whole concept was to have this everywhere in all the 4 countries.
Yes.
But you know what's really happened? Is onset of mobile phones
Yes.
has spread
Yes.
and changed the world of poor people much more than that.
Yes.
And
So
still, $100 US is a lot of money.
yes. Right.
That's all you know.
Yeah. So that's why there are volunteers who are actually using other systems for teaching and learning. And you're quite right, mobile phone is becoming so popular. You still need to have developed
They are
right.
small computers.
Yes. Right, okay, thank you very much, okay?
He wants to buy one. He wants to buy one, but I don't think you can buy it.
Yeah. What we have, we may have what we call internal give one, get one. So there are some people who actually want to buy. The only reason that maybe you can still get one, but you have to donate one. So it will cost around Hong Kong 3,000 something. So if you really want, let me know. We see whether we can discuss that or not. Because we actually want this to be in the hands of developers also. Okay? So it's not cheap. If you're, because, but remember, you're doing charity also. You are actually sort of like donating one to another person. Okay. Okay. Thank you.